I feel like it really doesn't matter who you are, but anyone looking at this image of a supposed doll can tell that something is not quite right. This is a simple two-image slideshow that starts off by showing an image of a man by the name of Anatoli, and the second image shows a doll that he owned that in reality is not actually just a doll. So I feel like a lot of you guys are actually familiar with this case, even if you don't directly know Anatoli's name, because of how disturbing it is in its nature. For some backstory, this was a case that hit the news back in 2011 when Anatoli was a linguist and a historian. Specifically, he was interested in Celtic history, and even more specific, burial, the occult, and pretty much anything related to death. Colleagues of Anatoli would state that he was a genius, but he was very eccentric. He lived with his parents, he never drank, smoked, or partied, and basically kept to himself. And this is probably for a very good reason, because Anatoli had a pretty disturbing secret that he hadn't told anybody yet. Namely, Anatoli had the hobby of prowling cemeteries looking for young individuals that were just freshly laid to rest, exhuming those graves, which basically means digging those people out, and bringing them home and turning them into dolls. Over the course of approximately a decade, Anatoli would have this routine where he would go out and collect people, typically between the ages of 3 and 29, and all of them were females. What's even more crazy about this, though, is that his family was actually aware of what he was doing to a degree. His parents oftentimes would see these life-size dolls, however, they did not realize that these dolls were actually people. They thought that they were simply just dolls. Now, in 2011 is when Anatoli was caught, and to be honest, he probably would have continued doing this had he not been caught, but because of how often he would exhume graves, eventually authorities tied this back to him, which is when they discovered 26 of these mummies in his apartment. When asked about why he was doing this, there were two different reasons that he gave. Number one, he stated that he felt bad for these young people who passed away too early, and he strongly believed that he would be able to bring them back to life through black magic, so that's already pretty far out there. But he also stated that this fascination began when he was a young child walking through a cemetery, and he watched an 11-year-old girl be laid to rest. The family of that 11-year-old girl apparently forced him to kiss her on the forehead, which is where this whole interest got sparked in the beginning. In any event, Anatoli did not get sentenced to any time for this. Instead, he was sent to a permanent psychiatric hospital, and after psychiatric evaluation, they determined that he had paranoid schizophrenia. And honestly, oftentimes being in a psychiatric hospital is worse than being in prison, at least according to my research. As always, let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below. Drop a comment letting me know what you want to see next. I also have my Patreon linked in the description down below if you guys want to check that out and help support the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.